video that I had made in high school that I had like copyrighted music on. Not the right decision. I got flagged and my video got muted. So only graded work. Because literally, if you notice Sammy and I digging through the recycling bin when you guys walked in, already Sammy thinks she accidentally threw away a paper she still needs to turn in. Womp, womp, sad trombone. So, double check that everything you're removing from your binder has a check on it. What you're going to do with that... Sorry, what now?
You said to put it in order. Do we actually have to put it in order?
Yeah, you should, so that you know that every paper is there, right? Like, because then if we go look for a paper in that stack of papers, it would help you to be in order. Exactly.
Hey, remember how you assigned it 612, 613, 614 for 62?
Yeah.
You put that in the back of like...
So those actually fall right after, and you can always check your plan book for order. Those fell right after 217. So it'd be 217, then 613, and 4, and then we jump back to 218. But that, like, I'm not taking a grade on all your papers in order. So here, hold up. Let me explain where we're going, and then you can go there. So in your bins, there should be at least a couple packs of Post-its. You're going to pull out one of the Post-its, and this is easier if you use the apartments.com ones, actually. The sticky side, which on the apartments.com is that marked thing. And no, I'm not sponsored, but I would take a free apartment if anyone wants to give me a free apartment. No, I have a house, but I don't know what else apartments.com could give me.
Sponsored by apartments.com.
No, but I did get new shoes. I would take a sponsorship from them. All right, like this. So when you fold your folder, it is sticking up a little bit. Not like this, wanting your Post-it to be the highest Post-it in the drawer because it will get ripped when the drawer opens and closes. So you only want it sticking up like enough that you can see your name. You can throw a letter group on there if you want, like Farah had, but then only things with check marks or an M, like a mastery. But you aren't getting your masteries back today because I'm a human and I could not get all of my papers graded last night. Sorry, Math 7 got first priority. Next time you guys can have first. But normally you guys don't take masteries on the same day, and I don't have all of my grading at once. This just sucked for me. So, sorry, I'm delayed. I got everything else graded. So, questions on this next set of like objectives that you're doing, and then I will tell you where to put this. Question? So if they're not, so 111 I kept the first homework that we did. And then, so guys, this is what's weird about us being CC3. Remember that we didn't do legit every single homework. So like if you go check your plan book, we didn't do 113, right? So you don't have a 113. If you're thinking that it's missing, we just skipped it. Is that what you're thinking you're missing?
No, there's a 113. Oh, wait, that's Max 7.
So, thank you, Val. I'm in charge here. So, 112, 114, and then we got into the 2s, and I think I just forgot to, like, write down a couple things there at the end of the week. But, guys, like, if it's not in MAP, you're good. Like, all of the Unit 1 homework is in MAP now. If you're all good in MAP, you're good. If you're not good in MAP, you owe me something. Does that make sense? All right, I might as well tell you where you're taking it then. Once your first name and last name, you will bring it back here to the drawer that says Accelerated 7A, 3A, 3B, and you will place it nicely in the drawer so it hangs off the sides of it. Not just drop it back here for somebody else to deal with. You hang it in the drawer. Any questions? Make it happen.
Would be a smart idea to like write our letter group on there too.
Sure, but it, like a couple kids' letter groups have changed, and like yes, go ahead if you want to, but I don't use letter groups as much as other teachers. It's like if you don't, I'm not going to be upset. Like it's one of those things. So the folders are back there, right where Val and Colin are showing us. The Post-its are at your tables. You guys know your names, I believe. I even know your names now. Yes.
Yeah.
If you want to put Ren, put Ren. But yeah, I mean, what you go by here at Phoenix, just so I know who you. As long as I can connect your like work to your folder, right here if you've turned them in recently. I guess I should have thought about that. Did you turn them in recently? Oh, hey, Bradley. Oh, hey, Bradley. Oh, hey, Bradley. What's up? Because what? Oh, you can even just recycle that if you want to. Sorry, it took me a second to remember what had happened. Yep, that is perfect. Wow, most of these papers are your guys' table. It's all Noah, Nick, and Isaac.
What? I only have one.
Well, okay, and so did Noah. Well, Isaac was absent and had a bunch for me.
Somebody saw my name?
Got paper there. So that can go in your folder too. Oh, check your answers. Go with you now.
Brian had a slide that hooked at his wallet.
There's no grade on this.
You know what happens with you? So you are the last person in the grading, right? Well, I bet in here I wrote down a check and then just forgot to put it on your paper. Closure, Violet, check. But I think I did need your 219, or did you end up turning that in? Because that might have been a me mistake. Yeah, it looks like it's missing, so go see if you have 219. Let me, because if you do, I want to change it. Is it one of the ones I just gave you back?
No.
I'm stressed about absolutely nothing.
Then I usually go recycling your work. Your work is going back in the folder. That was up here because I was emptying out some of the papers. Yeah, so not right now, right? That's AO or extension or end of class. We might have some time at end of class today, actually. Violet, this is still yours. All right. Any questions or confusion on that? Getting papers out of your binder. If we didn't do this, so I can find a stack. By the end of the year, you'll have approximately that much paperwork from math. This is Gust's, if anyone knows Gus. He's in the news crew. But what you can also do by the end of the year is if you like really, hate math and despise me at that point, is all the kids are like, we're gonna burn it! And then Gus, who was one of those kids, just left his crap here with me. But guys, we keep everything back there for the, exactly what Violet and I were just doing of I'm not quite sure if I forgot to write down a grade right, or if she actually owes me that assignment, but we don't want to recycle or throw away anything until we're a long ways past it. Okay, so the best advice is keep your math notes in your binder because it's like your textbook, but we didn't give out textbooks because you don't need one. You've got the ebook. Any questions on getting papers out of your binder and that they stay back there, we don't throw them away. Gentlemen, are you going to be able to handle being at the same desk? Okay. All right, so now let's talk about goals for next chapter. So this is something I'm stealing from Mr. Hall, and this is going to be one of the first things that goes back in your binder for this chapter. So once you have this, put your name on it. What block are you guys? What class period is this?
3A.
3A.
Are we supposed to put our notes?
That's up to you if you want to keep them because you might use them, or if you want to file them away. still says chapter, but how we operate is more like units in this class because we bounce around. So do I have anybody looking to read? Anybody trying to flex their reading skills?
Bradley should do.
Sam, do you want to read the assignments part and those first 2 bullet points?
Practice assignments in math are checked for effort and completion on a daily basis, 2 days after their assignment. Making an effort to keep up with the daily assignments, having them completed when they are due, is extremely important to be successful in math. Making your best effort on the assignments allow you to ask authentic and timely questions about topics you may not understand yet.
So you will start to learn this font, and more so next year you'll start to learn. This very much is the font that Mr. Hall uses when he makes up his worksheets. I think it's Comic Sans, and I kind of don't love it. But either way, this is a Mr. Hall worksheet that I am stealing his idea, and then you'll already be used to it when you get to 8th grade. So it'll be great. So here's how we're going to now give you credit, and really you're going to give yourself credit, and then I'm going to walk around the room while we're doing our checking answers of your homework. So anyone want to read what's in the box? Bradley, you want to go ahead?
Complete the assignment showing how you found the answer equals 2 points. This means you tried each of the problems, showing what you did to attempt them. It does not mean that you got everything correct. Assignment is not complete, but is at least half finished, 1 point. Assignment is less than half complete, missing or forgotten equals 0 points.
So this is legit the exact scale and points that Mr. Hall uses. Because you guys know Phoenix is not point-based, but sometimes just points is a nice way to keep track of stuff. So what you want to do is decide, and I'm going to erase this chapter 2 because we're headed into chapters 3 and 4. So let's make this a 3, either 3 and 4 or 3/4. So chapters 3 and 4. If you want every day, all of your homework is attempted, right? Not all of your answers are right, but you tried every problem. You put in the effort. If you want to strive to do that every single day, your goal should be close to 100%. I mean, there's no, if you don't reach this goal, it's just a conversation type thing. This is not like a mastery or something. This is for you. This is goal setting. Because, guys, some of you yesterday, when I let you use your notes and your homework and you kind of didn't, because I think you realized oh man, I mean, I know what I know in my homework, I didn't check it, or I didn't and it was just, it's interesting. And Math 7 had more of that, because more of you guys did do your homework on time. But yeah, if you are setting a goal of 70%, just to throw out a random number, what does that mean really? What? Yeah, Nick?
That means that you're not very confident with yourself.
Yeah, and what's...
You don't really,
If there's 70%, what's the other part?
all missing.
30%, right? You're saying that you're okay with 30% of the time not doing what you're supposed to do. Guys, my homeworks tend to be 5, maybe 8 questions. And normally if they're more than 5, I give you more than one day. So think for a second. You're going to give yourself points every day. So starting with this homework 3.2.1, so we can go ahead and write this down. 3.2.1 is going to be our first homework. Set yourself a percentage goal of when we reach a checkpoint, when we reach the next mini mastery, when we get to the end of chapter 3, which is only 5 or 6 homeworks from now. Literally, we're only in chapter 3 for a week or 2.
Oh.
And then here's your next homework to go ahead and put names on. There's 3 of you. That keeps messing with me. So put your name on this. Thank you. So your goal setting sheet, you can clip that in your binder. You are going to hang on to that at least for now.
Wait, why does it say that some assignments are worth 42, 48, 52?
Wait, what
Read
section?
the headers of the columns. So
Total points possible?
give me 2 seconds to show the next slide that I have to show. All of you ask me where it goes. I got you. I got you. I got you. So, unfortunately, our math notes are not back yet. It's more than 2 pages actually, so I needed to send it to the copy center so we don't run so many copies here. But your binder organization now, you can do what you want with it, because I think after a unit worth of like practice and everything, each of you has kind of determined what you like. Like, some of you put the tonight's homework that you need to do at the front of your binder. And when it's done, you move it to the back of your binder or whatever. Like, some of you, your math notes are splitting things up because your math notes are in sleeves. Right? So, like, however you want to organize your binder for this next chapter, well, next unit, really, that's up to you. Tomorrow, we will put our new math notes in sleeves, put them in our binder. Like, we'll get the new chapter set up and rolling. But your binder shouldn't have much in it right now. It should, like, maybe have a homework or two if you still need to finish them. But aside from that, it should have your goal sheet. Yeah, some graph paper maybe, like a few sheet protectors maybe. I mean, I'd probably hang on to it for now. So Leah just asked, do we need the expression mat? And like, today's lesson is gonna say you can use algebra tiles if you want. I'm gonna try to pull away from algebra tiles. So soon we'll probably say, okay, let's get rid of the algebra mats. I wanted to talk about this before I actually give you tests back. Everybody look up here. Because this is the biggest thing that, like, we can just get this down from the beginning and, like, all of us remember it, it'll make your life so much easier. So Mason, playing with your pencil probably needs to be second priority to listening right now. If you get an NF or a P tomorrow when I give your tests back, NF means needs finished, and sometimes it's just like NF/P. Like, you've already made enough mistakes that I think you're probably like progressing and need to do some revisions. NF really just means like you need to finish it, right? You need more time. And if I see that a bunch of us are needing to finish, we'll do that during class, right? We'll like carve out 10 or 20 minutes and like spend some more time on it. But if you have a progressing mastery corrections, which even if there's a retest, I almost always do corrections first. Mastery corrections always go where, Zach? Well, now you jump down to there.
Could I please have Minerva Hill to the office? Minerva, thank you.
Liam, where do we do our corrections?
On the graph paper that goes that gets stapled on the front of the test.
Violet, where do we do our corrections? I know, I just wanted it said 3 times and then I was... On graph paper. You do not erase wrong answers. You do not cross them out. You do not do anything with them, except for appreciate that that wrong answer is going to help us get to the right answer. We do not get rid of our wrong answers. They're good. Wrong answers are a good thing. So always, graph paper, staple it to the front. And my idea about, like, my goal behind that is that you would have this stapled on the front of your mastery, right? So let's say that's your mastery, and you've done whatever questions you needed to redo. Maybe you circled your final answers, but like your new grade is then on the front, right? And I'll probably cross out if you had a progressing or whatever, but like you want your new grade to be the thing that you see when I hand you your paper back. Okay, so sorry, Violet, you had a question?
Would I be able to work on the test during extensions?
Yeah, like that is also fine. Today, as long as you remember to turn it back in, that's fine. I'm going to be leaving before the end of extensions because I got to get my car from the shop. It's like I had a flat tire, so I got to figure that out and get my wife her car back. So as long as you remember to turn it back in, that's okay. I will say I'm about halfway through grading your tests, so if you take it to work on it today, you're going to have like partial feedback probably. So it might look a little weird. Like some questions will have my feedback, some won't. Does that make sense? Yeah, always graph paper. Always, always, always and forever. All right, 3, 2, 1. Let's go. So, is there any examples from class on this paper?
No.
Nah, so we can put this away, right? So go ahead and clip this in your math binder. Clip this in your math binder. And guys, what we're doing today will relate back to your mastery revisions. So what should we all always have any day in math class? Graph paper. So if you don't have graph paper, get a piece of graph paper. If you don't have graph paper, get a piece of graph paper. So guys, you are always welcome to use resources, right? So if during the test you wanted to use algebra tiles, you were welcome to ask to. They're over there. I've got my algebra mat that I could loan you, but like we're trying to get away from the algebra tiles. So if you really want to use them, you may, but this is what we want to get transferred onto our paper in an algebraic expression. So if we need to first build it using algebra tiles, we can. But what we want to end up writing is like how many x's, right? How many constants? And what does that equal to? And then we're going to mess with it a little bit. So take a couple minutes with your partners at your table. Like, what do we have up here? What could we do up here to simplify it? How do we start that solution process that some of us kind of forgot about on the mastery? So chat with each other for a couple minutes. Write down whatever you got. By the way, anytime we're using graph paper, like we did at the beginning, and I know what's on the next slide, you should head your graph paper. So I would just quick header of just 3.2.1. Right, and then this is problem 70? Yeah, 70. All right, there you go. There's your map. What could we do to simplify it? How could we start working a solution? If you're thinking guess and check, that is not the way to do it. Yep, you're solving for the value of x that makes this true. And if we forgot, because it seemed like I had a couple questions on the test yesterday, what is different about this mat? What's the two bars in the middle tell us? These are equal, right? So this is equal. So left side equal to right side. Right? Those two bars in the middle tell us left is equal to right. Now it's okay if we write this down multiple times, but we want to make sure that we write down the algebra, meaning like how many x's, like a number in front of the x. How many constants, like a number in front of it. Ooh, it's been so long since we've used cards. I'm sure you've all been heartbroken waiting for the next time
we are very heartbroken.
we would use random cards.
Cards.
Like Cards versus Wolves?
No, like the last time you used cards.
I mean, I'm a
in the
cardinal.
Jenga.
I don't know where it went, but I'm a cardinal because I went to Otterbein.
Another thing.
Otterbein was also the Cardinals. So started out at I'm a cardinal.
I'm a wolf. I'm a wolf.
No, cards heal on me.
So on the left side, I'm bouncing around the room a bunch. Hey, bring it back. So how many x's start on the positive side of the left? 4, right? So if we're writing down the algebra here, the first thing that we should probably write is 4 x's. You have an idea? Okay, continue.
So it will be 4x plus 1 plus negative 6.
Hold on, slow down. 4x plus 1 plus negative 6, because Soph went ahead and said, well, if I grab these and slide them up here, they all become negative. Guys, some of you forgot that on the test yesterday, if you have like negative 3 times a group of stuff, that means there are 3 sets in the negative space, right? So like everything would have to slide up. But like we'll look at your masteries tomorrow. No worries. I wish I was done with them. Just, you know,
Nope.
I can only move so fast. All right, so if you want to keep going.
And then it equals 2x plus 3.
2x plus 3.
So
Now,
then,
so if we only move on to somebody else, so I make sure we all know what we're doing potentially. Annabelle, well, that's funny because you're neighbors. Annabelle, what would we do next?
All right. I would probably do like the 0 pair, so I'd make it 4x plus negative 4.
Yeah, guys, and zero pairs is really combine like terms. So, yeah, we essentially made a zero pair. 4x and negative 5 equals 2x plus 3. Please make sure this is on your paper, and if you and your partner haven't figured out the next step, talk about it. I'm ready. So make sure the algebra is written on your paper, like the 4x and the 1, and like actually write those down exactly like I have it up there. Wait, how'd you get from here to there?
What did you get?
So do me a favor, erase this for a moment. You're probably right, but we need to write down how we're allowed to get there. Not just like, oh, well, I'm smart enough, I figured it out. Right? Because that won't always work. Alright, so Mason got to an answer just because like he's smart and figured it out. But that won't always work. Because math continues to say, oh, you think you're good? Haha. And they throw you something more difficult. So what up here would I be allowed to do on both sides? Colin, do you know what I could do up here to start like getting rid of stuff? We could take away 2 x's from both sides on your paper. What I need written out, especially my people like Bryson in the back corners that could do it or not do it because I can't really see you that well, is a minus 2x on both sides. Like we write that out. Yeah, you're allowed to do it in a different order, but my advice is normally do variables first. We'll look at examples of why, but you are allowed to do whatever order you want. It's just sometimes it gets tricky. So then, what is 4x minus 2x's?
2x.
Sam, you with me? Because it seems like you're coming back telling a story to Caden. So 2x plus negative 5 equals 2x minus 2x? Gone, right? And so just 3. All right, Isaac, what do I do now? Add, and I write that on my paper. We add 5 to both sides. And then what we have is 2x equals 8. Which, what can I do now, Ren?
Okay. You divide 8 by 2.
Guys, this is the step that screws people up. Because you're thinking, I need to get to 1x, let's take an x away.
No.
But you can't, because you can't do that over here. I mean, you could, but it just gets complicated. It's no good. So if we divide and we show this, Sam, can you sit by Caden or not? Because you are totally disrespecting me right now. You good? Take a breath. Pick up your pencil. We're writing down math. Divide by 2 on both sides. And then, Mason, x's, which Mason already told me x was 4, and I made him erase that, because I was like, we need to write this stuff out, and he's like, no, but it's 4. And I was like, well, yes, you're right, but, questions.
I big braided.
Questions.
Can I see the top of it? I was in the bathroom.
Yeah, for like a hot minute. Having a party in there?
No, Mr. Smith talked to me. Like, stopped and talked to me in the hallway.
But Mr. Smith, all right, are you good? Because we need to move on to the next shot, like the next attempt at doing one of these.
Yeah, I could probably just like go on the video later and plug it out.
So check out these 2 equations, or I'll highlight them to help like make them easier. So we've got, and these need to go on your graph paper, right? We're going to show the work.
What number is this?
This is 71. Guys, I know we're at the beginning of the chapter, but we're already on questions like 70. We skipped the whole first sections. Try to solve that out. Preston thinks it's 100. But guys, let's not just plug it in and figure out if 100's right. Like, let's actually solve it, right? Like, flex our algebra skills. And then this one that looks more similar to what was on the mastery yesterday, we got to solve that one too. And again, write out your work. Figure out what x is. Don't just plug it in and test it. Alright, technology is officially creepy.
What?
Somehow my phone knows that I made a 3 o'clock appointment at NTB, but I already dropped my car off earlier, but my phone is telling me you should leave for NTB. Like,
They probably texted
creepy.
you or something.
Literally, it says leave by 2:54. It essentially is telling me I'm late.
Oh,
But-
you're
No, but the phone's stupid because I already went there. Like, I went there at lunch.
Isn't it as creepy as like
Yo!
how computers can like know you're late?
Yeah, I mean,
If you
it's
did you
creepy.
text it to
I got
somebody?
the McDonald's app and it said my name on it.
Yo, that is creepy.
That's actually terrifying.
You don't have
It's like
like.
McDonald's.
Yes.
Can identify you by how you walk.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, I texted it to my wife.
saved it. Oh, that's
Because Google reads your, Google reads your texts.
Wait, do you have a Google phone?
I do.
I am never getting a Google phone.
Well, you don't do anything illegal or anything
No,
suspicious.
actually,
it doesn't matter if Google
Apple
reads your
does it
texts.
too.
What did you do?
Yeah, no, I said.
Then be better. Don't do illegal or suspicious things.
That's fine. Once I said I should set a timer for 7 minutes, and when I opened the timer app,
It was already going.
no, it wasn't going, but it had like set timer for 7 minutes, and I don't
Like
know.
when my dad's alarm went off.
Oh, it just keeps it.
Bradley. Sorry, I
I
only got
didn't
2
do
minutes
7
left.
last time.
What would you do
10
first?
last time.
Hey, bring it back because we're gonna do these real quick and get out of here. What would you do first with that left equation? Add 2 to both sides because the only variable that we see is on the left side, so we might as well leave it alone. So 3x now equals 10. This is one of those times when I'm going to say I told you so. Bryson, what would we do now? Why? No. Because you're probably saying skip because you were doing your own thing.
No, I just don't know how to. I know that we need to divide it by 3, but I don't know if I'm supposed to give the answer for that because I don't.
What you just said is exactly what I wanted you to say.
Well, I
We
didn't know
need
if
to
you also
divide.
wanted me to like say the answer of 10.
No, you're good. We need to divide by 3. Although I like what you just said. Do you want to say it again?
Divided by 3.
Well, then you said the answer
10
is
divided by 3.
instead of some of you who were saying the answer is 3.3333. Guys, this is quote unquote the same. It's not. It's not actually. Like, it's approximately the same, but 10/3 is better. It is more accurate. So in this situation, the fraction's better. It's not like right versus wrong. I'll give it to you if you put 3.3 repeating. But if you, well, the calculator wouldn't even show a 4 out here in this case. It would not do that. But remember, your calculator's stupid. When you get a repeating decimal, do not trust your calculator.
Yeah, really.
All right, this tough one. Noah, what would you do first?
I would, so there's like a negative x there. I would group that with the 2x just to have an x plus 3.
All right, so combine like terms, which I already tried to goof up.
So smart.
2x minus x is 1x, so I still have plus 3. I still have 3x, and I still have my -5 or my -5.
Well, you can just say X,
Keep
not
going
one
with
X.
my mouth.
Mason, what would we do next? You could either remove an x from both sides, remove 3 from both sides, remove 3 x's from both sides, or add 5 to both sides. Sure. Mason says add 5 to both sides because we don't like negativity. Might as well get rid of it by adding 5. If you took a different order, that doesn't mean right versus wrong. So we now have 1x plus 8 equals 3x. Sam, what would you do now? We got x's on both sides. We kind of need to fix that. Remove 1x from both sides.
I know what to do next. Oh, wait, no, that one.
You know what to do next. That was really a reach. I'm sorry. I'm very sorry. I should not. That was bad. Okay. Anybody? What do we do now? Divide by 2 and x again.